welcome. Another episode of our Footy Fantasy podcast. If you're watching this anywhere, before I introduce our guests, like, share, subscribe. You can see at the bottom banner YouTube, Footy Fantasy, Instagram, Footy 80 Fantasy, Twitter. Join us, like, share, subscribe. Twitter, we hit the 1K this week. YouTube, road to 500. Instagram, road to 800. Just like, share, subscribe. International Break Edition. Let me introduce our panel of rotating guests. I think it's only right I start with the top of the league, one hand of the trophy, man.
Yeah, yourself.
One hand of the trophy, Arsenal fans, how I think Arsenal fans kind of had this secret meeting with Liverpool fans. So they've been trying to do this thing that Liverpool were doing 3 years ago, where don't jinx it. Oh, we're not gonna say anything. It's gonna please stop it. You guys are favorites, 100 title. Just own it. It's okay. Welcome to the show, Steven. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. The man who believes so much in jinxes, like I said, Liverpool fans, everything is jinxed to them. They're always afraid. Even if they're 15-0 up, they're always afraid. He didn't even watch his team win 7-0 against his bitter rivals. He didn't watch the game because he did not believe. Ryan, thanks for coming on.
It's my birthday.
That's just your birthday. I'm just trying
Glad to be back.
Last but not the least, Benny, Chelsea fan, CT lover. His boy got a job. He's coming on here to try to say how everybody was wrong. Potter out, man, as always. Benny, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Okay, I think comments are already kind of flying in already. Oga comment says, one hand on the trophy, bro. Jamie Lang. Okay, that's a good one. Oh, let's dive right in. I think the topical issue for sure right now is Bayern. I guess if you even know Rock, which I don't expect anybody to be, but Bayern fired Naglesmann, which my personal opinion, I guess I'll just say mine quickly then. I think it's weird. It's a weird firing. I mean, they said everything that came out from the Athletic and all the journalists, Rafa Honigstein, that close to the club, say they did not like the way he lost. He went from being 10 points ahead of Dortmund to 2 points behind in a couple of months. The football is dreadful. The players complain about his training methods, and because of that, Tuchel was available. They wanted to cut ties in the summer. That's what I heard. But Tuchel told them he's available now. And because apparently in 2018, when Tuchel was available, they wanted to get Tuchel. And I think who was against it? Uli Hoeneß, their president at the time, I think, was against getting Tuchel. And while they were dragging their feet, he went and decamped and went to PSG. That's the PSG manager. So they didn't want to make that same mistake again. So because they fired a manager, they paid 25 million euros to get from Leipzig. His contract was 65 million euros. They gave him a 5-year contract 2 seasons ago, I remember. And they pulled the plug. He's just 2 points behind Dortmund, which if he beats next weekend, he goes back to the top table. Dominated PSG, like a world PSG with Mbappe and Messi. That's crazy. And Neymar, I know it was injured second leg, but it was their first leg, if I remember. Dominated them. Didn't concede a goal against them. Has won 8 straight games in the Champions League. And still in the German Cup. I don't get it. I don't know what football has become, but I'm like, I didn't understand this. So those are my thoughts. I'll let Benny, Tuchel guy. You can, whatever angle you want to attack this, so you can give us your thoughts.
So I think ever since he was hired, actually, I always had, it's just a bit of something missing. Nagelsmann, that is.
Yeah.
I always thought there was something missing. Like he wasn't, I don't want to say properly tried. He was good at, what was his former team? Is it Leipzig, right?
Leipzig, yeah.
He was really good at Leipzig. But then again, Leipzig didn't really win anything. I mean, They just played good football, yeah. And I mean, it helped that they had money to buy players and all that. Like, it bought a lot of players and wanted to challenge Bayern and knock Bayern off the verge. But they just, I just felt like he didn't have that. I don't want to say coaching pedigree, but it felt like something was missing. But then again, this is Bayern Munich. If you have a decent head on your shoulders, you should be able to coach these amazing set of players to results. So honestly, we call the German league a farmers league, obviously, because Bayern has an unreasonable amount of resources compared to the other teams. So at this stage, going from 8 points ahead to 2 points behind Dortmund that just lost Haaland last year. I mean, Bayern don't really have a striker, but then again, the other players they have on their bench. Have you seen the bench normally when they play?
Yeah, it's incredible.
I remember Mourinho made a quote like, "Look, I was watching this Bayern Munich game and I looked at the bench. I saw Mane, Sane, and Nabry. I was just praying to God that I had just one of them. But yeah, they have so much like a wealth of resources, and I can see how they can deem that underachieving. Now, the Champions League, yes, they've done well, but I think the thrashing of PSG was more about the how terrible PSG have become this year
Yeah.
versus how good Bayern were. As opposed to how good Bayern were rather. Um, and in a way, sometimes you have to look at it. It's easy to look at some results and be like, oh, okay, he beat PSG, so I mean, it means it's good. But then you have to look deeper. Like, have PSG been playing well this season? They're having issues right now too. I
Yeah.
mean, Tuchel was actually on their short list. Like, hey, we want to bring him back. Um, Now, why I don't really fault the Bayern guys is because they fired someone they thought was underperforming and hired a coach with pedigree. Unlike a team that I know so well, they fired Naglesmann and brought in Tuchel, like a Champions League winner. Tried through someone that's gone through the fire and come out like emerged successful. And I really don't have an issue with it. But Dortmund were really usually my side chick. Like, Chelsea's my first love, and Dortmund my side chick. But now I mean I have to be a Bayern fan. So I think that Tuchel is going to do well there. I don't think he's going to last there because he is very abrasive.
Yeah.
And if you even see the picture of Khan, I think it's just it's ominous, that picture, and it's a very German picture, but nobody's smiling except the non-German guy there that's smiling. And Tuchel is gonna, and I think it's a 2.5 year deal, right?
Hmm.
So they expect that there will be some friction there. And honestly, any good coach, most good coaches have a bit of an edge to them, whether it's arrogance or just being stubborn and whatever. Unlike a coach that we all know, that's just a yes man. I'm not even gonna call his name. I'm not throughout this podcast. I'm not gonna mention his name because I feel like he doesn't deserve that from me. He doesn't. He hasn't earned me my saying his name. He hasn't earned it. So Tuchel to Bayern, I think it'd be a success, even if it's for the short term. And I'm looking forward to him giving Pep nightmares. I'm looking forward to that. I really.
Good point. Good point. No, to be fair, he's Pep's nemesis. I mean, he's beaten Pep a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
So, well, one of the people that beat Pep. Steve, what are your thoughts? Steven?
It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, the timing is kind of crazy, but you could see a lot of teams kind of waiting for this international break to kind of make the moves. So you kind of just know, based on how they did it and the timing, that this is a decision that they made in the last week. This has been going on probably before, and then the timing was just okay. We're going to do this before the international break or during the international break. So the timing doesn't surprise me. And then people forget what Bayern is. Like, Bayern is the German Real Madrid, Chelsea, like they're FC Hollywood. They do what they want when they want.
That's right.
And the last few managers that they've hired have been project managers, not resource managers. Like, since Pep, they haven't hired a manager that's got a big reputation, a big name, that's been used to working with big personalities.
That is true.
So if you think about, like, yeah, Nagelsmann came in and he had a reputation from Leipzig, but he's not that resource manager. He's not a Jose, he's not a Conte, he's not a Pep. Like, there's certain managers that are kind of built for those teams. They go in, they do what they do for the 2 years, and then they pass it on to the next guy. And I just from the time I started to see him, like they give him Cancelo and he's on the bench and he's not playing, Mane's on the bench and he's not playing. They just had a resource manager or project manager when they should have a resource manager at that club. So I think the timing was a little bit strange. I think the way that they did it didn't have a lot of class about it, obviously, because again, if you read behind the scenes of how it went and how he found out through the press and all the rest of it, not the most classy thing. But yeah, that it's Bayern. It's these teams. This is how they roll. When they make a decision, they go. They don't really care what anyone else thinks. But I just think the last few appointments that they've had, despite the relative success of keeping or retaining the league, they haven't had a resource manager. They've had these project managers, these younger guys that they've tried to kind of build around for the longer term. And I think this is just them kind of going back to what they know and what they believe the club should be doing, given their size.
Okay, that's a very good point. I like that about the fact he's a resource manager, Tuchel, and Nagelsmann is a project manager. I got comment says I heard Nagelsmann had no allies in the boardroom. He also didn't get along with senior players. He also had no business joining them that early. He simply wasn't ready for the big stage. Good point. I know I heard one game they lost and he had this rant that they said was very immature. I heard that somewhere. This is Dyer. Yes, this is a Bayern fan. It says Nagelsmann came to Bayern too early in his career. The issue with Neuer public fight where Nagelsmann sacked the goalkeeper coach, Tapalovic, who is like Neuer's personal man. Nagelsmann's girlfriend also worked with Bild. Okay. And there are rumors of team talks leaking to the press a lot. The result of falling in Nagelsmann's favor. Many players he feel he micromanaged everyone and tries to be too smart. I never liked Nagelsmann. I felt he should have been given to the end of season though. Okay.
You want to know the joke though, right? So apparently he broke up with the missus too.
Correct.
Same week.
He did.
Oh wow.
As opposed to like he gets fired, breaks up with his girl, and he's being linked to Tottenham. So he had a bad 24 hours.
Oh, from a 9-point lead to a 1-point trailing is not acceptable.
Exactly. I agree. I do agree. Yeah.
I don't know. Ryan, what are your thoughts about this so far?
I sort of pretty much agree with what everything is said, particularly what Stephen said. Not too long ago, and what Oga Kwame was saying in the comments. Like he was an up and coming, was just far too soon. Teams like Bayern, again, like Stephen said, that is the Real Madrid of the German league. They run things. Everyone sort of if they ask for a player, it doesn't mean if it's the best player for any team in that league, they come running. No questions asked, and they're not paying crazy fees because it's either that leave the country or you go to Bayern. There's no one else you're moving to within the German league. They just pick apart teams for whoever they want. I was a bit surprised with. You can tell it must have been something that was on the horizon for a little while, and they've just waited till this break so that they can, pull the trigger and get rid of him. I'm sure they've probably made contact with Tuchel well before this, and they just sort of expedited the process. I feel like also his name doesn't carry the weight of a lot of other managers. If it was another man, say it was a Zidane or someone, and results were going the same way, this wouldn't have happened. The Nagelsmann name doesn't carry that same brand equity that some big managers do. They wouldn't be doing this kind of thing because the last thing they want is imagine the interviews that would be coming out from Mourinho right now if he was the Bayern manager. Whereas because it's Nagelsmann, he can go and say whatever he wants and nobody's going to pay attention. He's not going to get more than a 5-minute interview from any of the the tabloids. They don't care. If anything, they're going to be focusing more on who's coming in rather than the fact that Nagelsmann is leaving. I do feel as though, his career will bounce back, but it is a major hiccup because he is so young. I mean, what is he, 30? Is it 36? 37? Yeah, I know he's very, very... Yeah, he's older than me. I'm 35. He's not much older than me, and leading, the biggest club in Germany, one of the biggest clubs in the world. I still think it was shocking though, because ultimately, obviously, I think leagues like the Bundesliga, like League, they're dominated by a team. The league is a given, What I'm surprised about is the fact that they were doing so well in the Champions League and decided to get rid of them. That's the last thing they'd want to disrupt. That league, should be. I guess they're used to wrapping it up quite early, around just after Christmas. That league is, done and dusted. But Dortmund clawing the way back, clawing the way back like that. It is crazy. But I didn't think. I thought that even if, say, they came second in the league, they're so close to winning. To probably win the Champions League personally, they'll win it.
Yeah.
I think Bayern will win it. I think City will drop the ball again, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay. My quick thoughts so that we can wrap up this section is my first concern I have from a perspective of fan Nagelsmann is what did they expect? They got rid of probably one of the best strikers in the history of the Bundesliga in Lewandowski and replaced with a declining Mane. You can speak to that more, Ryan. I think Mane started declining. And you can see he had a 4 months injury. Replaced it with Choupo-Moting though as your top striker. Really, let's be serious. Choupo-Moting. I mean, he's good, but he's not Lewandowski. They're kind of transitioning. I guess that's the point I'm trying to say.
Fine. Yeah,
they're kind of transitioning, and they didn't expect there to be some hiccups. That's the first thing. Now, from a Tuchel standpoint, is Tuchel a more attacking manager than Nagelsmann? I'm not sure. I'll be very honest. I'm not. I remember Tuchel Dortmund because I don't know if most people know Dortmund is my second team. I've been following them since days of club before club. Last time I saw him coach an very attacking team was when in Dortmund with Mkhitaryan and them, man. After those years, everything I've seen from there is it's more like a counter-attacking coach. And transition based, control. Is that he coaches transition?
Yes.
For control, I want the ball, very good defense. Defense is always very solid. Nagelsmann plays good attacking football. I mean, you can be naive at the back, but that's the concern I have for them. Too cool. There's no guarantees in that Champions League. At least my personal opinion is I thought they had a better chance with Nagelsmann against City. With Tuchel, I'm not sure. That's my opinion. I'm not sure.
You saw he had a better chance against City. Nagelsmann has a better chance against City.
Yeah, I did. I really thought so. Because I feel like with Nagelsmann, Pep could overthink it. Even though I don't buy into that fully, that overthinking thing. But I feel like with Nagelsmann is going to play attacking football. He will attack City. He will attack and attack their weaknesses. Tuchel is going to play very, very conservative football. That's what I emphasize. Because he knows that the eyes are on him for that game. And it's going to backfire. That's my opinion. Anyway, I might be wrong. Right. Let's take comments and move off here to the next topic. But still, going behind to Dortmund after a 10-point lead is not acceptable. If you are not going to out to the institution, Alisson underperform and lose the dressing room. Did he lose the dressing room though? I don't know.
I don't think they make that decision without consulting some senior players. I think that's
that's fair. That's true.
That's pretty quick. We're very, very quick. They just had an emergency meeting. Mine was on holiday.
Yeah, I know. It was on fire on Twitter. That was there.
Like I said, it's the leaks and all of the stories. There's so many stories about what was supposed to happen and what was happening behind the scenes. It's all club propaganda. It's we've seen this with these big clubs before. When they want to get rid of someone, all of a sudden there's 50 stories. His missus paper and this player does it, and then we've seen it before. It's not a surprise. I just think that they wanted him gone. This was the moment to do it. Like you said, Tuchel was available, and they just kind of pushed the man out the door. It's there's not going to be any fuss about it because he's a young manager, and they're getting a quality replacement straight away. If they were replacing him with another young manager, I think people will be asking questions. But replacing him with Tuchel, especially in Germany where he's got a record, they're going to be like, yeah, this makes sense, and they move on.
Exactly. So you know how Chelsea fans feel. So, yeah.
But Chelsea fans just need to get over themselves. It's a joke.
All right. Well, let's not get into that. Yeah. It's just,
Uncle Todd's doing his thing, man. Leave Uncle Todd alone.
Man, Todd is there just ruining everything. He's our problem. I think he's our problem. I'm not even mad at the coach. Todd is the problem, I think.
Okay.
He is the problem, yeah.
Next topic, we'll go into relegation battle. I guess the context is right now the 12th place team is Crystal Palace. They're on 27 points. The 19th place team is Bournemouth. They're on 24 points. Just 3 points. So literally everybody from 12th to 20th, at least for now, before any gap appears, can go down. This is madness. 10 games, 11 games, whatever it is to go. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Like 12, like 8 teams are in danger of going down, right? There's 8 teams. All over 9 teams go down.
9 teams, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess we are talking about what do you think, what has led to this closest relegation battle in the Premier League, in your thoughts? I think I'll start with Steven. I feel like Steven is the Premier League expert here. Let's
Right.
start.
No, the league is just more balanced and it's coming through in the results. It's like the bottom team in the league, Southampton, how much have they spent this year on players? 143 million euro, the bottom team. Like the levels of the Premier League versus these other leagues is not the same. Like they're buying, yes, they're not buying top players, but a guy like Kumaldeen that they're getting, he's playing for Southampton.
I know.
Like, this is a guy that be playing for a mid-table or a top team in Europe, and he's playing for the bottom team in the Premier. And they paid 30 million for him. It's not.
Isn't Walcott there?
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's levels to this. Like Lavia,
Yeah.
Bazunu. Look at the players who are playing for the bottom team in the Prem.
Yeah.
They're young players, yes, which is why they're struggling, right? Because again, young players are going to be inconsistent. They're going to be up and down. So Southampton are bottom, but it's not because they don't have quality. It's just they're competing in a league where everybody's got quality. So it's that's the madness of it, right? It's like back in the day, Norwich would come up and it was clear they were going straight back.
We look at 2 games or like 2 games, 3 draws. That's it.
That's it.
Now it's a madness that the teams come up and they're spending 200 million on players and they're buying quality players because they can afford to, right? These teams just compete differently. I just think it's a much different league. It's a much more competitive league. You look at a team like Palace, Zaha, Olise, like Guehi. There's quality players at all of these teams now. It's not
Right.
You're not playing the farmer from down the street. I just think the quality is a lot more evenly spread across the league, specifically from 6 down. And I just think the teams they got their heads about them as well with their recruitment, because even a team like Southampton, they're not having a great season. Yeah. I just think Southampton went too far to the left in terms of too many young players, and they were trusting experience in the wrong parts of the field. Like their entire defense is pretty young, right? So you can't do that in the Prem. Whereas they got quality in midfield, they got some experience up front, but they just at the back, they're just too inexperienced, and that's what's costing them every week. So you just got to look at these teams and just the quality and the swings that comes from the way that they're recruiting players, the way they're improving. That's the league we're in. And that's kind of why I think it could be anyone from 12 down. If you lose 2 or 3 games over the next 10, you catch yourself in the bottom 3, you might not get out.
That's true.
It's that crazy.
Let me take these 2 comments quickly now. I'll say my thoughts quickly. I think Pep would have spanked Naglesmann because Naglesmann would try to outplay Pep. Mane, Sane, Gnabry have been off form. He lost Niwa. Fair point. You're Bayern fan. I'll argue with you. A guy comes and says, Benny, you need to be calming down. Until you guys reach Ole Gunnar social levels, y'all gonna be good.
Well, past that level though.
Exactly. Past that level. Like social was never 10th. I mean,
he was never 10th.
He was never 14.
Also, Oga Kwame, you're the one that came on here and said, "Oh, Potter is a genius." Oh man, I said the name. He said Potter was a genius, and I was like, "What have you seen to make you say that?" That's a genius coach. That's a genius of Potter. Like what? Anyway, move on. It's just
My thoughts about the relegation. I think I agree with everything you said. I think there's just so much money. I mean, that's why some people call it EPL Super League with the recruitment that's happening. I think the other thing is, I think the teams that are struggling now, there's just been too much instability with them. Almost all of them are fired coaches at some point this season, apart from maybe West Ham. Almost all of them are fired coaches. Crystal Palace fired a coach. Wolves fired. Leeds are fired. Everton has 5.
Everton fired.
Only Nottingham Forest, Leicester,
And
and West
Leicester
Ham are
and
fired.
West Ham.
Everybody in that place have fired the coach this season. It's ridiculous. Like, you need some stability. Like, and I understand why there's a rush, there's a gold rush for the 150 million money to stay in the league. So like immediately you got people, teams were just panicking. Nah, we have to fire. We have to, because nobody wants to go down. Like, this is the first season, and that's why I'm going to do the prediction of who's going to go down. I cannot genuinely tell you what 3 teams confidently is going down. I cannot. I have no clue. I literally have no clue. In those 12 teams, I cannot tell who's going to go down or stay up. I can't. I'm just going to do a random guess. I mean, these are my thoughts. I don't know if anybody has any different thoughts or different thoughts. Benny, any different thoughts?
No, I agree with everything that's been said. It's just the parity there. It's like more even. It's a more level playing field, at least for half the teams in the top half. Like even, well, actually, for most of the teams there, only the big 6 maybe have like a step up. Maybe I don't even know if I want to consider Spurs part of it anymore because those guys are, yeah, whatever. I'm stressed. Those guys are crazy. Yeah, but yeah, just the parity there, and it's I'm actually quite excited to see how this goes. But I do think I have. I got Kwame. You need to stop it. I do think I have some teams that I think Crystal Palace will go down. I think Palace will go down for sure. I also think Leicester are in more trouble than they know. I think they might be going down, and I don't know. Maybe Southampton. Maybe
Those are your 3 teams. Okay.
my 3 teams. Yeah.
Ryan, any thoughts plus your 3 teams? What are your thoughts about this?
My 3 teams, well, Everton are going down. Everton are gone. Everton, see you later.
Liverpool next
Guarantee
week
this is the
discount.
year they
There you
don't
go.
do the miracle. I don't even care. They're not a team on my radar. They don't fuss. I'm not bothered about Everton, but I see them going down. Have you seen the games? They've not win those games. They're not. I don't even think they're drawing a lot of those games. Like, I think they're gone. Southampton, I don't want them to go, but I think so. I think Palace will stay. I think that was what people fussed about when Vieira got sacked. Apart from the fact that obviously I think they won a few games that were shot on goal or something, but they the toughest period for the rest of the season. They've just gone through, and then after that, the games get a bit easier. The 3rd team, I can't those 2. Will go. Do you want the closeness of Chilwell?
What did you say? Sorry, I missed that. You cut off. Like, what was the last team?
That Stephen discussed just. No. Do you want me to talk about the? I think the teams are so close towards the bottom of what they can battle so close this season.
Okay. Stephen, what are your teams that's going to go down?
I think
I know. So
no, go ahead.
Oh, you're
I
breaking
think
up, Ryan.
he's having network issues. Ryan
now
has
you
network
got
issues.
like.
Your Wi-Fi is cutting in and out, Ryan.
Yeah.
Right, let me try to make you. Could you jump it back in, Ryan? I think your Wi-Fi is cutting in and out. Okay, Stephen, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's between 4 or 5 teams. So for me, I think it's between Southampton, Forest, Everton, Bournemouth, and Leeds in terms of who goes down. I don't think Palace go down. I think they got enough, just about to stay up. And I think the fixtures that Palace have, people have to look at the fixtures.
Yeah.
So Palace sacking Vieira was a madness anyway, because again, if you looked at the fixtures, he was playing against the top 6, like 7 or 8 teams. He played Man United twice. He played Arsenal. He played Newcastle. Like, he had some really ridiculous games, and they drew 5 games out of those really ridiculous games. It's not that they were losing; it was they just weren't scoring enough to win the games. But they were competitive, right? Even the game against City, I mean, City get a penalty in the last 10 minutes. It's not like they were getting battered by people.
Yeah.
So I think Palace will have enough. Roy Hodgson going in there, they'll be defensive. They'll do what they do. They'll hit people on the break. Zaha will be Zaha. They'll be fine. But I think that 5, Southampton, Forest, Leeds, Everton, Bournemouth, they're the ones that they're playing each other, but some of the fixtures are insane. Like Everton, I think Everton have got to play Spurs, United, Newcastle, City. Like in their last 10, I just in amongst head to heads. I just think Everton might be in a lot of trouble. And I don't know if they got enough firepower to keep themselves up. So I don't want them to go, but I think Everton might this year, like Ryan was saying. And then I think it's for me, the other two is Southampton because of the inexperience at the back. And then the last one, probably Forest. Because even for all of the amount that they've spent, I just don't know if they've got enough, even with their home form, to keep. Like Forest can't win away, right? So they got to find a couple of results away from home, and I just don't see where they're getting those from to keep themselves up. So those would be the three. I think it's Southampton, Forest, and then Everton as the tearjerker for the people who love the Prem because they've been around forever and they've been flirting with it. But I think this time they go.
Okay. Right.
And if Everton go, I think they're dead as well, right? Because they got the FFP situation, they got the stadium. If they go down, they're in so much trouble. It's not even if Everton go down, you're talking City and a couple of divisions. It could be that bad.
Yeah, I agree. Stoke City, right? I could be like Stoke City.
It could be bad.
Let's take these comments quickly. I got comment says Benny's stressed. Yeah, he's stressed. He's doing well though. His skin is glowing. His skincare routine looks good for someone that's stressed.
It's just black don't crack, man. That's all it is.
Black don't crack.
Chelsea's stressing my soul. My soul is stressed.
Your soul is stressed. That's why Bayern is not called FC Olu for no reason. Yep. I wish I'd received my genius.
Too late, bro.
We use it very quickly a lot, you know. Yeah. I'm changing my approach with watching football teams now. I was telling someone about this just a couple of weeks ago. I don't care as much about coaches as much. I care more about what's going on above the coach now, more than coaches anymore. The fear of EPL relegation is the beginning of football boardroom wisdom. Yeah, that's fair. The minute they sacked Mr. Lamppost, Everton saved themselves from relegation. Dyche isn't taking them down this season. Man, Steve made some very strong points. You have to think about that. I hope Espanyol, wow. Espanyol, Everton of Catalonia gets relegated in La Liga. Okay. I know who that is. Leeds,
Has to be Benvindo.
Yeah, that's Benvindo, yeah. Leeds, Bournemouth, and Southampton are gone.
Hey, listen to this, right? So Everton fixtures. Their next game is Spurs at home. Then they play United away. Then they play Fulham at home, Palace away, Newcastle at home. Then they have Leicester away, Brighton away, City at home, Wolves away, and then they end the season at Bournemouth at home. Like, I just I think Daesh is a good appointment, but I just don't know if they got the firepower to get through them games. Like,
they should have done that appointment earlier.
100
games.
100%.
Yeah. Oga Comment says Leeds, Bournemouth, and Southampton are gone. Okay. Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, and Southampton. Man, you've changed my picks. I'm going to say my picks. Oh, before I say mine, Ryan, who are your picks? That's going down.
I'm only given to Everton and Southampton that I know for sure.
Okay.
And then let me give you the Bournemouth ones. This is why I think Bournemouth stay up.
Well, okay, I won't sit on those. I'll go with Bournemouth. I'll go with Bournemouth. Bournemouth will be my third. Go on, Bournemouth.
So Bournemouth's next two games are at home.
Yeah.
Right? So they play Fulham at home, Brighton at home. Then they go away to Leicester, head to head.
Getting
they play
done
Spurs away. They play West Ham at home, Southampton away, Leeds at home, Chelsea at home, Palace away, and then they play United at home and Everton away. So they play everybody in and around them, and a lot of those games are at home. That's why I think Bournemouth will get a couple of results in there. I don't think they're supposed to, but Bournemouth are they're annoying side.
Yeah, they are. They are. All I'm saying is Everton are done. So everyone, if you want to get one last Prem game at Goodison, go now. You won't see them.
Go down, the stadium, move on.
That's what I'm saying. They won't win those fixtures. They haven't got it in them. Yeah. They had a youngster saved them against Chelsea. They should have lost that game. They're gone.
Okay. Because of what you said now, I'm going to put everything. I didn't have everything in mind. I'll be honest. But that fixture, I didn't now look at the fixture.
Yeah, I didn't look at that either.
The fixtures are mad.
I did now
Yeah,
look at this
yeah.
fixture. They're
It's like
playing
a
teams that
setup.
have everything to play for. Everybody they're playing has something like to play for ridiculously. So yeah, so everything's going down. I think Southampton's going down.
Yeah, and look at Leeds as well. Leeds is the next one. They got
I think
Arsenal away,
Okay.
Forest at home, Palace at home, Liverpool at home, Fulham away, Leicester at home, Bournemouth away, Man City away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away. Like it's just you look at these teams and you're just like, yo, where they finding 4 wins from?
So I guess for me, I'll keep Leeds up there.
Honestly,
Like, Leeds have something about them.
this would be the
Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like they have something about them. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it up there. So I'm going with Everton, Southampton, and Leicester. I feel like Leicester will get relegated. I know it's weird when you look at their score, like, oh, it's not possible.
Leicester.
I feel like Leicester will get relegated. I really do.
Leicester-
I called this a long time ago.
They can't keep a clean sheet. They can't defend. Like that
Yeah.
walk face guy they got at the back. Oh my lord.
It made Chelsea look like Real Madrid. I remember I was like, whoa.
I would-
I was like, whoa.
They should dig up Johnny Evans with a Zimmer frame and put him back on the field before they play that brother again.
Yeah, honestly.
He's so bad.
Chelsea
awful, man.
look good against them. I want to make you guys understand that. Chelsea haven't looked good all season. Chelsea
They
look
look
good
good
against Leicester. I'm like, whoa.
Give us false confidence. I have some Chelsea fans yell, "Oh, we just won. We just beat Leicester." I'm like, nah, you beat a PE team. That's not Leicester.
So the teams with a huge negative goal difference may be at the bigger risk of relegation. Okay, that's a good point. It might come down to that. Reason for because too much money deep. Yeah, Steven already said that. Let's jump through. Let's talk about Spurs. Just quickly, we're just passing. Well, I was supposed to get the Spurs fan up on this, but he's been ducking. He said, I'm traveling.
Running for his life. That's
Very
what
convenient.
I see you're ducking the smoke. He's like, no, I enjoy it. When are you going to come on? Every week. Stories, but yeah, whatever. Spurs. Let me just take these comments off it. I'll give context, right? I think Conte is going to get sacked. Whether they hold on to the end of the season or by international break. Since they're not done it now, I'm thinking they're going to hold on. I think. I don't know what's going on.
If he was going to get sacked, they'd have done it already.
They'd have done it already.
Okay.
Yep. He just flipped the finger at them, like at that conference, and just left.
No, and they just told him, go Italy, cool off, and see you in 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Like,
Come back. They don't care.
come back.
His contract's up. So his contract's up at the end of the season. Everybody knows he's a dead man walking. So Levy's like, I'm going to go and find my manager. And they start on the 1st of June. Like, I don't care.
Exactly.
But I guess that's probably what the more topical issue there is. What is more important to you? Your ego versus, okay, I don't want to pay you out versus top 4 is on the line. Like, what is Levy doing? I don't get that.
But
The
is it
champion
really?
is on the line.
Is it really? Like, who's the manager? Like, okay, unless they're going to bring back Poch, devil's advocate, unless they're going to bring back Pochettino,
Yeah.
who are they bringing in there now to take over from Conte?
That's true. I don't
They're
know.
probably
That's
saying just wait until the end of the season. Because again, they could go get Luis Enrique, never managed in the league before.
yeah.
Probably doesn't speak the language.
The players they have are the players they have. So again, change of style, change of system, even though they don't really have a system right now.
No, they
Like,
don't.
what do you do? Like, I just think Conte's got too much pride to sit there and not manage the team through the end of the season. Like, as much as he's self-sabotaging, look where they are in the table. It's like, just manage the 10 games. You need to do what you need to do so you get another job at the end of it anyway. Like, I can see where they probably already know who they're bringing in, and they're just gonna let him see it out.
Okay. Anybody has any other thoughts about this?
I honestly
Benny?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I honestly think they would have. Yeah, I was just going to say, I honestly think they would have sacked him, but for that interview, I think they were probably just waiting for the next loss or something, and then they would have pulled the trigger. But now, everyone's sort of anticipating it and they don't want to do it because it will draw too much attention back to that interview. So he's probably done himself a favor. They still will replace him, but he's just bought himself probably a bit of time. I reckon he's bought himself time to the end of the season because at this point, it is what it is. Changing the manager will probably cause a bit more disruption. They might have that little spell, where you get with the first 2 games of a new manager where you win. Everyone thinks, oh, the good times are back. And then, it's just straight back to normal. Spurs. I can't even say Spurs, and loads of teams go through that. All them bottom teams that change the manager. Next game's against Liverpool, they'll beat Liverpool. Oh my God, the good we're back, and then they go back straight back to how they were before. New manager syndrome. They don't want that. It doesn't really do anything for you. When you get change the manager at this point, you might as well just wait it out. If you Spurs anyway, they're struggling to get top 4. If they get a new manager, they're still going to be struggling. It's not going to change much. The results will be the results either way, I think.
Yeah, and it's a bigger thing with Spurs as well because people need to. When Spurs hired Conte, that was the appointment they couldn't get wrong. Because again, you had Harry Kane coming to a certain age, Son coming to a certain age. They had an aging. Now they're in a situation where Kane's about to be 30, Son's about to be 30.
Yep.
They need to get a manager in that's going to rebuild with them, as opposed to just getting someone in to try and win now. And that's what Conte was supposed to be. Like, come in, give him what he needs, let him win now. But they didn't really give him what he needed. So that's where the friction started. Because you can tell the players that he wanted versus the players the club went and bought. Because some of the transfers that Spurs have done and how he's managed those players tells you he didn't want anything to do with it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. He pretty much came out and said it.
Bissouma.
It's absolutely.
Oga comment says, Benny, I can help you make further out rant videos for a small fee. Wow. Oga comment is consulting on rants now. Okay. I haven't ranted in a while, but I'll to come back naturally.
It's all right. Yeah, man, you're doing better now, so he hasn't had to rant. Good for you. Good for you, man. Don't worry.
Zaza says, hiring a new manager does not ensure top 4. That's fair. That's a good point. No decent manager is taking that Spurs job now. They'll wait until the new season. That's why Levy can sack Conte now. Just leave him there till the end of the season.
Do you guys think that Levy is going to try to sell some of these agent stars? Kane and Son, for instance.
Yeah. I don't think Son goes. I think Kane goes. I think Kane goes because he's got 2 years on his contract.
All right.
Oh, 1 more year.
It's just a year, yeah. 24, right?
So I don't think they can afford
not to sell him now.
Sell him now. Like, if he tries to keep him and then Kane walks for free, then Levy deserves every pitchfork shooting, whatever. Like, that would be typical Spurs to say, okay, he convinces them that he's not going anywhere and he ends up
right.
Like, again, this is a club that's lived through Sol Campbell. They can't do that again.
Harry Kane literally, he doesn't know them.
I see Harry Kane literally see Harry Kane wearing matches, like being matches.
That's the only place he can go or should go.
He should have been there a while ago. Like, he signed that new contract. I was like, what?
But again,
I guess he wanted the record, maybe.
About that sign, though, I really feel some type of way, but that's a different podcast. I feel some type of that sign. United fans are on it. I'm not on it.
It'd be a bad signing for United, but it'd be typical United. They're gonna spend 100 million on a 30-year-old striker, and then 2 years from now have to do it again. Like,
we've changed our ways.
Anthony tells me differently.
We've changed. Hey, he's scoring goals though. Hey, don't joke with that one.
Pepe was scoring goals too.
Pepe scored goals.
He's contributing to his impact.
So was Pepe.
No, not versus Barcelona. Come on now. Versus Barcelona. Pepe was doing up Bournemouth and them, man. Come on, let's be serious now. Don't compare the impact. Just relax. Don't imagine compare Anthony's Pepe. Steven, stop it.
Tell me in 2 years, Pepe. Telling you.
Hey, I'm saying he's going down that road, man. He's on that trajectory. He's on that trajectory. He's just.
I see. I'm not fine. Kane should go to Bayern or PSG, give himself a good title. I don't want you to end up like Allen Iverson.
He wants the Premier League scoring record. That's why he's not.
He wants it. That's why he's just there. Yeah.
Not for 100 to 150 million. Nope. United fans want Osimhen. That's my man. I want bring me the Nigerian. I want Osimhen. He needs to get out.
Do you think Osimhen would fit better than Kane at United?
system, I think
I
Kane's a
don't
bit,
think he would. I think Kane is better. Kane would be better for United.
but
I'll
it's
say this quickly. Then we'll talk about our top three players. I'll say this quickly because I feel like this is a long-winded answer, but I'll summarize it. I do not. I'm afraid of getting Kane now because of what Steven has said. In 2 years, his knees might come, his ankle injuries might come up again. But more importantly, title challenge progress is not linear. We've seen this now, right? The last 3 years, Arsenal jumped from fifth to a title charge,
Right.
right? Liverpool did theirs incrementally. Chelsea went from 10th to winning the league. Title challenge is not linear. Getting Kane is going to make it look that's just like when we got Cristiano. Oh, you might have to go and challenge for the title. Well, do we really have to though? Like it might happen, it might not happen. Like I want like an organic process. If you get Osimhen, if it doesn't happen next season, nobody's panicking like oh, our whole core is getting old. That's why I don't want Kane. I don't want that pressure of like, oh, we don't do it next year. Oh, Kane is 32. Casemiro is 31. This like I don't
De
want
Gea
that.
is 30. Like
Correct.
you,
I don't want
Varane
that.
is like you have that anyway.
Yeah, we do. So I would be fine with Kane if United is going to go and we get Kane, we get a Frankie. I know he's not leaving, but a Frankie De Jong profile. We get like David Raya. We get like if you plug every holes, let's do it. I'm all for that. If you plug every holes next season, then let's do it. That means we are going all in next season, but that's not going to happen. We know this. FFP, whatever is Qatar owners, whatever. Like we're not spending 300 million pounds next season. We're not. At least I don't see it. But if we are, then let's go. Let's go all in. Then I'm fine with that. Let's go all in. I don't think United is going all in next season. I guess that's my point. So that's why I don't want Kane. I would prefer Osimhen. Kane is a better fit tactically. I agree. He can link play, can drop. His link with Rashford will be mad. I mean, I can see that already. But just picturing that it would be mad. But I mean, I don't want that pressure. I want Osimhen. Oof. A lot of comments. United fans want Osimhen. Yes. Steven, that's blasphemy. Pepe versus Anthony. Please be fearing God.
Yeah, that's another United fan. Come on.
Osimhen doesn't fit United either. I'm not sure I want
Bro,
it.
come on, man.
I go for Osimhen. Hey, don't be saying things like that.
Bro, okay, Kwame, I know where you live, man. Don't say that, man. Come on
Why
now.
did you go for Ivan Toney?
Because he's probably going to be banned for 6 months. But
I'm going to skip
About
that.
to be.
Leave Frankie De Jong alone, bro. Last morning. Hey,
Don't be there.
man. That guy.
That boy is.
Luka Modric. That boy is ridiculous, man. Kane, please. Okay, we know that's what you always say. Stop it. Just be all these Englishmen that okay. Top 3 players for your club this season. Benny, let's start with you.
Can we just do one?
evil, man.
Can we just do one player, please? Nobody else like
You got
makes
pick
me happy.
3?
Just Thiago. I'm gonna go Thiago Silva. That's it.
You got 3?
All right. If I have to, and I have to say, he's been thinking and enjoyed a bit too, but I'll go Kepa. And man, why are you doing this to me, man? Like I have watching the games is so painful right now. Like everybody just makes me upset.
That's how
Everybody.
That's how bad Chelsea have been. That's true.
It's just bad. It's really bad. But if I have to go another one, and people, I'll probably get a lot of pushback from Chelsea fans on this, but I'd say Kai Havertz. I'd say Kai. Normally I'd say Joao, but he just came in the middle of the season, so I'll go Kai. Kai's he hasn't really produced much. He's been asked to play striker, and he's not a striker. It's like an attacking midfielder, but he's been asked to play that week in, week out. And availability is your best. Availability is the best ability. Reece James would be up there, but man is made of glass now. Like you can't rely on him for anything. He's so strong, but so brittle. Like it's strange to me. And Chelsea fans want to just build the team around him. Like, how do you build a team around someone who is rarely ever there? He has major injury issues that will be like for the next couple of years will be very concerning to the Chelsea board. That they need to do something about that. So yeah, Thiago Silva, Kepa, Havertz.
Okay, let me take comments and we'll move. So do United need a strong striker hey, we don't call him that. Okay, come, let's stop this. We call him Voldemort. Do United need until Voldemort? We don't mention his name. Voldemort, that's what we call him. We don't do that. Stop that. Odegaard, Saka, and Partey. Okay, that's an Arsenal fan. Then we can keep Frankie. We'll go and get we'll go and carry Enzo Lefi. Who's that? All this,
He's talking about Fernandez, Enzo Fernandez.
I don't know who that is. That's some football manager thing. You guys stop it. Don't be
Has to be. I don't know.
Mojo 007 FC.
Bro, wherever that is, you know, normally I'd say something mean, but you know what? We deserve that. We deserve that. Yeah.
Yeah, Benny Pele, welcome to the club, bro.
I got quiet.
Benny, Brixman had seen you struggle to speak tough to players this season. Chelsea really messed you up, bro. Cheers. Yeah.
This has been done.
Ryan, 007 trophy. You guys want the 007 trophy? Tell
I feel
me
like it's the same. It's the same for me. It's like scraping the barrel, you know. I mean, I'll go with Alisson. You know, Alisson doesn't deserve to be through what he's going through right now. I mean, I saw some stats. I think he's saved almost 10 plus guaranteed goals from going in. You know, so you don't deserve every mistake he makes. I don't sweat because exactly. So Alisson, and then the other two. Firmino, he got unlucky with injuries, but he was our best player all season up until he got injured. But I'll stick with him. He's my boy. He's leaving soon, so I'll go Firmino, and then Salah, I guess. I don't know, because he scored.
He has had a decent season. He has had over 20 goals, right?
A great season.
He has had over 20 goals all competitions. I saw that. I guess. Yeah. That's shit. I wish I could get a couple of Rashford. Rashford FC up here. I'm letting you know. That's what we're riding on that band. Anywhere Rashford goes, that's where we're going. If Rashford gets injured, we're done. So I want 20. I want 20 plus goals now.
No, I feel like I don't like throwing out awards for mediocre. He's individual figures. You know, I feel like we should be past this point. We've been champions for a few years, so now to be, you know, set individual titles that mean nothing to the club as a whole. I don't want to go back to those days, but that's where we are. So that's my top three anyway.
Yeah, no noodles. I thought you were going to choose your man down with noodles. No, with his helicopter step overs. No, down with noodles.
No, he hasn't had a bad season. People give him grief and all that. I like the guy. I really like the guy. It's not his season yet. He
destroyed us. I'm just running my mouth. He destroyed us in outfield.
He reminds me a bit of Timo Werner. He hustles. Maybe the result, the end product's not there, but he hustles. Yeah,
he does. Let me take this comments before we go to man that's we know his team. Everybody's playing well. Ben is we know that. I'm so glad Rashford left that England squad. Ten Heisenberg doing God's work. Hey, he got the notes from Fergie. That's how you do it. Drop off on lineup, please. Steven, top 3 players.
It's easy. Again, like I said, we can name a lot. I think I'll maybe just mention some other guys that I don't think get credit. So I think obviously Xhaka, the season he's having, like just in general, like I can't even believe he's got so many goal contributions this year. I never thought he had him. And then Gabriel at the back. I know everybody talks about Saliba every week, but Gabriel is kind of like he's the proper defender back there. And then Ramsdale, because even for the results that we've had, like he makes big saves. He makes mistakes. Again, he's a young goalkeeper, and we're asking him to do a lot with his feet. That again, I didn't even know he had in him when we signed him, but he makes big saves. And again, you can kind of go back to some of these crazy games that we've had recently: Bournemouth, Aston Villa. Big save from Ramsdale, then we go down the other end and we get a result in the end. So them 3, just special mention. And Martinelli's the other one because he scores the big goal normally, like the first goal in a game or the equalizer in a game. Saka's the guy that kind of finishes things off more times than none. But Martinelli gets like really decisive goals normally. First goal against Liverpool, that type of thing. But the 3 that we can't play without, like if Arsenal are going to do anything, they need Saka, they need Odegaard, and they need Partey. It's them 3. Like Saka, Odegaard, like Saka's got 20-something goal contributions with 10 games left in the season. Like the numbers he's putting up is crazy at 21. It's quite scary because of the way, and again, he takes a beating as well. Like the amount of kicks he gets, I still don't know how Arteta lets him play so many minutes. But Saka is the one from a attacking standpoint. Odegaard makes everything tick. he might not get the same output in terms of goals, etc. But when he's on in the team, we're much more devastating in terms of what we can do in the final third, and then he leads the press as well. And then Partey just dictates the game. Like if you don't have Partey, you can counter attack an Arsenal. It's that simple. Jorginho does a job when he comes in, but we play very differently with him. Like because we can't let Xhaka go as far forward, we can't let Zinchenko get as far forward. When Partey's in there, you can't counter attack on us as easy because he just basically mops up everything. So, but them three are kind of just been they're the must-haves basically. They're the top boys for the team. But yeah, again, like you say, everybody's playing well, everybody's doing their job. And even on now, everybody said we didn't have a squad, and then we got Trossard coming in, and he's got 6 goal contributions in however many games already. So it's just it's a good team, young team, and they've added in some experience where they needed it to kind of help get over the line. We hope. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm so happy for you guys, more than you know. So happy.
Whatever.
It's kind of fun watching Arsenal play now.
You know, that's how Pep. You know when Pep does his interview, that's what I'm trying to do. So very happy. What do you know? That's how I feel about this. Happy for Arsenal.
It's like the knife to your throat. I can see it.
Every day, Abby just DMing me. I was like, oh Lord. It's like, yeah, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping for something. I don't know what I'm hoping for. I'm just hoping for something. Let's take comments. We've read that. Benny, will you take Timo back? Quick answer, Benny.
I never wanted him to leave. I never wanted Timo to leave.
Okay.
I never wanted him to leave. Like people focus so much on the goals that he misses, but he makes a lot of runs and opens a lot of space for like other people to run in, and he hustles a lot. And I think it's just the myopic view. Oh, he doesn't score. He doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. I get that, but he does so much off the ball. Off the ball.
You know what would be mad? If Timo was playing in front of Felix and Havertz, the difference, especially with that back three, he played a back three with them two behind him. It's a different conversation as opposed to the wide players trying to put crosses in for him. The team,
right.
I'll never understand. I'm going to say this. I would never understand why Todd Bowley did not see. Let me back a more experienced manager than a less experienced. I will never understand. It still blows my mind. Like you went and
I don't have a problem with Potter. I think Potter, again, look at where Chelsea were when they hired the man. Like, and they're building with young players. Like, so you're bringing in a manager. He has to survive the season. Still, like, if he doesn't get in the top 7, 8 at the end of the season, I don't know. Like Bowley, for all of the bravery and the big talk. Like if they keep him in a job and they don't get in the top 8, he's gonna have to do some serious gymnastics with the fans.
Yeah.
So he's got to get something. He's got to get into Europe somehow, some way by the end of the season, and then I think that buys him the preseason and the summer. And with the young players that they have, like people forget. You just mentioned Reece James, Gusto's coming. Like you've got a young right back coming already. You've already bought him.
Casaday's injured already.
Yeah, but again, there's players coming there that I think they know what they're doing, and they're gonna sell a wagon load of players. Like they got about 15 guys there that they brought for the academy that they're going to sell. Like it's not. That's why they could spend what they spent in January, because they know they're gonna sell 15 guys for a stupid amount of money in the summer.
Yeah.
So I just don't think Chelsea are as bad as people think.
I guess my point is I know Potter is a good coach, and if given time, right, but. You have to look at the up. People are just looking at upside. So now let's look at the downside of that. We are now betting on all the young players to be a hit, and so it's going to be.
But I don't think some of them are young. Like I think there's a balance.
They're not young.
No, I think there's a balance to some of it as well, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a balance.
Let's not back it out. That'll be a different podcast. But yeah, I get your point. Stephen, are you going to the parade? Direct question.
It's like if there is a parade, of course I'm coming.
Odegaard is Mr. Fluidity. I agree. Someone said, "Oh, you are wrong for that Pep impersonation." Hello. Yeah, I tried. I don't think I got it very well. My top 3 players to end the podcast. Of course, Rashford. He's been a player of the season. We're Rashford FC. Goal wise, everything. Threat, Martinez, Lisandro. I mean, there were so many comments about his height, your man, Carragher. He had to apologize. I know he came on the podcast. I had to apologize. all the nonsense he was talking about Alessandro. He doesn't watch other leagues talking about like, oh, it's hard. Guys, immense. And I think my third person is Casemiro. He's had this suspension and discipline. Casemiro, man, that guy's doing donkey work in that midfield, man. He's doing a lot. So those are my top 3 players. We have to do a short pod this week, international break. Yeah, next week we'll get back in the fire. We'll get back to kudos and donkey of the week. But yeah, that's the end of the pod.
Would you ever hire a Potter, Stephen, for your team?
Again, the situation with the timing of Potter is Arteta.
Yeah,
Potter is Arteta.
No, it's a risk. Like you're taking a chance on a young manager to rebuild and set your team up. So it's a case of, do you wait and people go on like Arteta didn't finish 8th twice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did.
The only difference, the only reason that Arteta survived is because he won the FA Cup in his first year. If he didn't win the FA Cup in his first year, he'd have gotten fired too.
And I'm going to add this. I've told EJ this many times. He was lucky there was a COVID season and there was no crowds. They would have turned on him. The Emirates would have turned on him if there was a crowd.
That's what I'm saying. But again, they rolled it out.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
But he had credit based on the fact that he won the FA Cup. Even in the COVID situation, it was 50-50, typical Arsenal fan base, etc. Yeah. But because he won the FA Cup, there were a group of people that are willing to give him the time, and there were a group of people that would just know he's not working Arteta out. Like,
I mean, if there was a COVID season, he went
in the ground.
They would have turned on him a long time ago, and they would have gotten fired.
So I think Potter is getting a lot of credit for how great Brighton were at scouting. I think he got too much credit for that because
but you took the Brighton scout too. Like, it's not you hired him and the scout. Like,
and the scouts. So the players are good, but you're right. We got pretty much the back room, the entire back room, everybody. That makes sense. Yes. But as a Chelsea fan, it's weird that it's not weird. We've been spoiled by the quick, he's not doing well, get him out, the Roman style and everything. And I get that. I get that we need to change the mentality, but when you fire Tuchel and get a Potter, it just doesn't sit well with me. I get that you're trying to project and all that, but it's a risk. And Bowley is not that experienced at this. It's not that, and I don't see why we're giving him so much blind faith for this move. But we'll see. We'll see. I know where I stand. I think it's terrible. I think Bowley is the demon for Chelsea. But yeah,
in Benny's support, right? Arteta is an exception to the case. Guys, he really is. People that start badly like that, even when they get like good, like whatever, turn around, it turns back. That's what happened with Solskjaer. Like people that start like that, usually it turns back at some point. So
no, but again, Arteta and Solskjaer is not comparable. Like Arteta came in, the squad, Solskjaer, that Manchester United team is not the Arsenal team that Arteta inherited. People forget Socrates. People forget Kolasinac. People forget Mustafi.
I agree. But guess what, though? That was the same squad, right? I don't know on Arsenal podcast. That was the same squad Arsenal fans killed Emery for. That's what pisses me off. Like you guys,
no. Emery, but at the same time,
Emery came fifth by 1 point.
No. Yes, he came fifth. Emery gave away the league to try and win the Europa League. That is what people turned on him for. Like he rotated our team before Crystal Palace trying to win the Europa League and then lost to Chelsea.
Schoolboy errors.
Cup final.
But Arteta made so many schoolboy errors. Like I'm not trying to. So I guess my point is this. The point I'm trying to say is, Arteta is an exception to this case. To his credit, I'm not even criticizing him. It's to his credit. Like using Arteta as like, because they gave Arteta time. It doesn't necessarily mean
it's going to work for a Potter.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going to say. I don't think
100%. I'm the same as you, but what I'm saying is I think they're going to give him to the end of the season. If he doesn't get European football at the end of the season, whatever shape or form, I think they're going to make a change then. Talking about firing him now, it doesn't make a difference because you're in 10th already.
True.
So they're just going to give him to the end of the season. If he gets into the top 8, then he'll get a preseason, and then that's his opportunity to prove. If he doesn't start the season well, they're going to fire him again then.
This season is a wash. It's a wash for Chelsea fans, obviously. Yeah.
I don't think top 8 is Europe, though. I'm not sure about the top 8 is Europe. Benny says, So Benny, sorry. Binvado says Messi's good friend and World Cup winner. We know that's you. Ryan, how do you feel about Jude Bellingham not coming in? Ryan, you want to answer that, Ryan?
He was never coming. Look, I'm not naive. I'm not one of those people that when do Liverpool sign £100 million rated players? It's never happened. It's not going to happen under the president's establishment. So I'm not disappointed because I'm not stupid. So I'm indifferent.
The only Judas man is getting Judas Iscariot. Okay, we've come to the end of the pod. Because of my selfish reasons, I have a place to be. I have to be somewhere. So we've come to the end of the pod. This has been fun. Steven, Danny, Ryan, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us in the comments. Chelsea's tribute to Pele continues. Wow. That's a good way to end this. It dropped.
Oh my god.
Thank you. Like, share, subscribe if you're watching, and we are out.
All right.